That's a question for somebody who knows what they're doing, and that person is not me. So I'm done speculating as to why all of this keeps happening. Hey, welcome to my video. If you're from my Instagram, I love you. And if you're not from my Instagram, love you all the same. Welcome to another Invisalign update. First of all, I want to say that if you're not caught up with this series, I think you should do so right here. Because otherwise, I really don't think it would make much sense since I don't fully recap everything from A to Z in every single video. And one more thing I want to mention is that I'm clearly not a dentist. I'm not an orthodontist. I'm not a professional in any way, shape, or form. I'm just a girl on the internet telling you her experience, and that should be taken as such. Nothing in any of these videos should be taken as advice. If you need help or if you have questions, consult professionals, not a random girl on the internet. Right, so now that that's out of the way, let's get into the video. Right, so I'm not quite sure where we left off in the last update, but I can tell you that my last regular checkup was 14 days ago, and I do have some updates. I believe we left off on the note that I wasn't quite sure whether or not I was going to be ending my Invisalign journey early, because if you remember, this is my second set of 20 aligners. I did go through a first set. I completed that in its entirety. And if everything went according to schedule, I was supposed to finish this one, I believe mid-November, something around there. But then a couple of checkups ago, they told me that I'm ahead of my dental schedule. Now, let me just briefly explain what that is really quickly. So while I'm not 1000% sure on how their technology works over there, I can tell you that their computers generate how your teeth are supposed to look every week. More specifically, how they're supposed to move around, and that's your dental plan. And so I went for a regular checkup. Everything was fine. Actually, it was better than fine because based on my plan, I was quite a few weeks ahead of schedule, which was amazing for me. Honestly, I was excited at the prospect of ending a little bit earlier, even though this was really not a difficult journey for me personally. But obviously, I just kind of want to be done. I'm sure you get it. And so that's when they told me they'd consult the main orthodontist and then let me know. And so for this checkup, I did in fact go in and I will be finishing early. During this second set, I was supposed to switch out my aligners every 14 days. Now, if you've watched any of these other videos, you know that I've kind of been struggling with that a little bit, because even if your hygiene is top of the top, even if you make sure to clean out your aligners as much and as best and as regularly as possible, after 14 days of wearing something for 20 to 22 hours a day, it gets to be a little much. The aligners get to be a little nasty and grimy, and that may be TMI, but you know what? That is the truth. So I was struggling a little bit, but now they told me that I can actually switch them out every 10 days. Now, even with that, I'll still be wearing them longer than I did in the very beginning, because at that point I was switching them out every week, and that was the sweet spot. That was very ideal for me, but I will definitely take 10 days over 14 days any day of the week, okay? So I was very happy about that. And as we speak, I've already switched one of the aligners based on this new schedule, and it is much better. Otherwise, at the checkup, they also asked me how I'm feeling, if I'm noticing any changes, specifically when it comes to my bite correction, because it was pretty open on the side here. I'm not sure if I've ever mentioned that in any of the previous videos, because there's usually been so much to talk about, but I will mention it lightly here. And honestly, I'll tell you what I told them, which is that I do think I noticed a difference. However, I'm a nobody, so I don't really know what I'm looking at. But what I can notice is the fact that it is much better than it was before, and it definitely closed up quite nicely. Now, as far as other changes like my teeth shifting and such, I'll be really honest here as well. I'm not really noticing those changes much anymore. And one thing I forgot to ask at my appointment, but that I'll make sure to ask them and next time I speak to them, is if I'm even supposed to be noticing those changes at this point. Because where we started, and from what I can tell at this point, my teeth are in such a better position, and I'm pretty satisfied with the way that they look. If you recall, one of my bottom teeth was being problematic and it just wasn't shifting like the rest of them were. But now, as far as I can see in the mirror, that one looks great too. I feel like it could shift just slightly more to the side and a little bit upwards as well, but honestly, very minor, and that'll probably correct itself somewhere along the way. And even worst case scenario, if it does not, I'm very happy with the way it looks now. Like I always say in these videos, in the beginning, I was noticing changes so quickly. It felt like every few days my teeth looked completely different. But now, as we're getting closer to the end, I don't really have that experience anymore, and I think that's pretty normal, although I will make sure to check. The reason that I think it's normal though is because when they checked my teeth 2 weeks ago when I was there, they told me that everything's moving along greatly, and they usually tell me if they see that something's off or if I have cause for concern, so I think everything should be fine. Now, one last thing that I talk about in every video, I sound like a broken record, but it's just my experience and it's just so real. My experience with Invisalign hooks, well, one hook specifically, and these elastics is annoying me as much as it possibly can. Obviously, take that statement with a grain of salt. These are all very much first world problems, okay? But they honestly are annoying. So if you've not caught up, this is a very long story short. I wear 3 elastics for 22 hours a day and then 4 elastics, that means 1 additional one for 12 hours a day. Now, I have little hooks on my teeth that I hook them onto, and there's never a problem with any one of them except with one hook specifically on my bottom teeth. For whatever reason, the elastic that I put in there in my sleep gets completely unhooked from that specific spot every single time. Literally, all of the other elastics are fine. All of the other hooks are doing what they're supposed to do, okay? And this one just, I don't know if it's the placement. I have no idea, to be honest with you, but this one just never cooperates. And at this point, I have lost count of how many times I've gone to the offices to have it fixed. Because if you don't know, when you wear elastics, it's either wear all of them at the same time or absolutely none of them. So if you noticed one of your hooks getting unhooked or completely falling off, which has also happened to me in the past. However, to be fair, that happened in the previous set when the hooks were completely different. Anyways, I digress. If there's anything wrong with your hooks, if you can't get your elastics to sit where they're supposed to, you're actually supposed to get that fixed as soon as possible. And at this point, I've been wearing the same set of elastics since literally my 2nd set of aligners. And ever since then, I get this one specific hook fixed every single appointment. And not only that, I've also gone to the office when I didn't have an appointment, only and solely specifically to get that fixed as well. And I've lost count as to how many times I've actually done that at this point. I believe 3 or 4. I'm not even quite sure if I told you about every single time I've done that, just because I normally update you after I have my regular checkups, because that's when I actually have news. But since I've gone and had this fixed on like random Wednesdays sometimes, I don't know, I forget if I've mentioned that in every single update video. Just know that I went and fixed this multiple times and I don't know what the issue is. The first time they fixed it, they just sort of made a cut on the hook so that hopefully the elastic has something to grip onto better. And then that worked out for a few days, but then my same problem kept reoccurring. And then every single other time I went, they literally took the material that these hooks are made from. Okay, I have no idea what material that is, but they took that material and physically elongated this hook. And again, same thing. That works for a few days, and then for some reason it stops working. I'm not also sure as to why that is. I have been informed that over time, when you eat and drink, that's what can kind of cause the hooks to become worn out. But again, that is over time. And I feel like this solution or these solutions last for a few days, maybe a week tops, and then I have to call the office and go back in for them to fix it. And yes, they did fix it this time around as well. And again, maybe a few days went by and I was super happy, and then now I'm having the same issue again. So literally, I'm gonna turn this camera off and call them again and go get that fixed again, and then that'll probably last a few days, and then I'm gonna have to do it all over again. Girl, I do not know what the issue is. To be fair, honestly, I am a teeth and jaw grinder. However, everybody in the office knows about that. I've been forthcoming with that. And also, side note, I'm not sure that it's something that I do every single night, because jaw grinders, teeth grinders, y'all are gonna understand me, but when you do grind your jaw, if you grind it as fiercely as I do, you wake up the next day and you go, oh, yep, it definitely happened last night. So I feel like I would know if it happens every single night. But again, even if it does, that's something that I told all the dental professionals that work on my mouth. And if that's the reason as to why I have this elastic debacle every single time I make one of these videos, wouldn't it also be happening to any of the other hooks I have in my mouth, not just that one specific one? That's a question for somebody who knows what they're doing, and that person is not me. So I'm done speculating as to why all of this keeps happening. Just know that I am annoyed by it, but obviously I'll live. It's very much a champagne problem at this point. I feel bad complaining just because I thought that I was gonna experience way much more pain during this journey than I actually did and do. So you know what? If this is the only thing I have to deal with, well then so be it. Now, when it comes to my next appointment, it's in less than a month at this point. So I'll see if I have any news to share then. Maybe not. Like, if everything is the same as it is now, I probably won't be making an additional video, but obviously as soon as I find something out, you'll be the first to know about it as well. And if you are somebody who's been on your own Invisalign journey, I would love to hear from you. I would love to talk to you. I would like to know about your experiences, so leave me a comment down below. But yeah, that's basically it for today's update. If you made it this far, I definitely think you should get a visit from the Tooth Fairy, and she should leave quite a few doll hairs under your pillow. And if you liked this video, then please consider liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, all that fun stuff. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.